if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Contest of Speed for the AM2 Championship here in the Lusail International Circuit in Qatar for the Qatar Grand Prix. This track is about 16 turns, one DRS zone. Highly technical circuit, very difficult to keep a lap together. Really easy to get time penalties as well. So it'll be interesting to see, how these drivers perform today. By the way, I am Red Devil, and with me this evening we have Rob Stark. Hey Rob, how's it going?
I'm doing good, you know. It's a quite interesting track which I've commentated about a few hours ago, maybe five, I think. But how are you today?
I'm doing good. Very pleasant evening out here where I live, so can't complain. Looking forward to some really good action on track. Yeah, I love Qatar. I love driving it. So yeah, let's see how things go here.
Yeah, it's a good track, you know. But that track limits around here is just awful.
Yeah, that's true. I saw that. A lot of races. I believe I saw a race where today someone had 15 seconds in time penalties. I'm like, oh my God. And yeah, that's one of the things that I am really scared about during the races and everything is picking up time penalties. So,
Yeah, especially for you guys. You guys are quick, and you guys want to push up the car in AM1, especially in EU1 as well. Both cars, or both sides, want to push the car as fast as they can. But that track limit is dangerous.
yeah, for sure. But before we get towards the action on track, let's take a look at the driver standings real quick. We've got Electric Blade, who's leading the championship with 170 points, followed by Orlando in P2. He's just 8 points behind him, but Electric Blade can tonight seal the championship because Orlando has a race ban. So if he gets, I believe, a P1 or a P2 with fastest lap, something like that, he will be the AM2 Drivers' Champion. We have Stubley in P3, Mel Carton with a fantastic second half of the season in P4, and Spanini in P5. Let's take a quick look at the constructors as well. We have Aston Martin leading the way with 233 points, closely followed by Red Bull who are only 10 points behind. That's going to be a close fight to the finish as well. McLaren with 221 points as well. They're in the fight, as well as Haas with 202. Bottom two or three is Ferrari with 40, Williams with 31, and bottom of the pack is Alpine with 23. So with that said, let's go back to the action on track.
Yeah, boy, that's looks like JDTV8 will be making his first lap and the first lap of his session if he don't invalidate.
Yeah, that's a pretty crucial thing to get a good banker in. I feel like, maybe not push to the absolute limit, but try and get in a good lap by just keeping it on track and, getting a good benchmark in. That's what I would do, at least for my first run. It's very important because if you invalidate, you just lose all the confidence and you have so much pressure on yourself, in going forward in the second phase of qualifying.
Yeah, especially with these high tech tires around here track, should I say. It's not good to go on a second lap. In EU3, which I did, that second lap I did was horrible with that second set of with the same set of tires. Especially with fuel around here, it's awful. But it's a good track to race around.
Oh, and as we say that, JDTV has invalidated, so he will be going back to the pits, hopefully. Oh, no, he is going to complete the lap. But we shall turn our attention to the Ferrari of DK Nortec. Oh, he's about to
Uh,
start the lap, so who's
KD
the
Dog about to go on the final corner here.
Katie Dog?
Yeah, final corner now.
All right, let's go on board with the Haas. He's already blinking though, going into the final corner. Let's see what he sets. It's a 122.3 provisional pole. We see an Alpine behind getting a good tow. He goes P2 with a 22.1 as Kane sets the fastest time with a 22.1 as well, just 3,000 faster than the Alpine.
Yeah, well, Joel's now got to cross the line, goes up to P4 as two AlphaTauri and an Alpine goes cross the line at the same time, and Pablo goes fastest.
On board with Clive here. He goes P6 with the 123.4. We have a Red Bull coming in. Let's see here.
Not as fast as
Oh,
Pablo. So Ferrari comes across the line now. I'm pretty sure it's not DK. Chaggerty.
as Panini goes P2 with a 122 flat. Bandud goes P7 with a 122.6. Let's see who's next. I think E. Warren is about.
Everyone's invalidated and Defton's gone to the pits. DK is on the track. Not sure if there's an accident or what. He's gone off on the track.
Oh, that's unfortunate. As we look at, let's take a look at Mail. No, he's in the pits. Let's go back to MVD Choi.
No, I think A1's the next one to cross the line.
Oh, okay. Let's go. But he has
And-
invalidated
right.
though.
Let me
Unfortunately.
rejoin. It's happened again.
Well, we'll go back with MVD Choi here, as it shows purple sector 1. Not sure if that's a glitch in the game. I don't know why EA does that though. Like, I really think they need to fix it, having proper
Fix
sector
what?
times. The purple
I think
sector.
I know what's wrong because I think I've been told this right by D Summers. So the shorter ones are personal best, and the longer ones is the best time in the session.
Okay.
Pretty sure not much people knew that. But that's a thing. So I think people were just blaming EA saying that's wrong actually, but no, it's just they're actually doing it a smart way, but also it's alright.
Well, I guess it is what it is. As Chewy opens up the DRS, coming through the final straight, blinking, but not as early as some of the other drivers we've seen. As he sets a 122.3, goes P6.
Bandit's about to go on his second lap now. There's a Mark, which is Frygab, about to cross the line to do his first lap.
Let's go on board with the Merc, shall we?
Well, Joel's improving by 4 tenths.
Oh, okay. We'll go with Joel and come back to watch Firegab later in the lap, as he's 8 tenths up now, going through the second sector. That will put him just above Pablo by a tenth or two.
Let's see what he does now. On the final corner, Kenny keeps it nice and clean. He don't want to touch that yellow curb inside of that corner. You don't touch it. A bit of a spin there with a bit of a drift there around that final corner.
And that's provisional pole for Joel with a 121.6, 3 tenths faster than Pablo. That's a really good lap from the Aston Martin driver. As next to cross the line, let's go back to Firegab. He's about to go through the second sector, split 53.8. That puts him somewhere around Joel, I think, somewhere between Joel and Pablo, maybe, as he's going through the penultimate corner. Keeps the car on track, does not invalidate, comes through to the final corner, takes the apex pretty well, puts the car out wide, but he is blinking though, as he opens up the DRS, crosses the line with a 121.3, goes fastest by 2.5 tenths over Joel. That was a fantastic lap from the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, well, Deftoms hasn't set a lap yet, so he's currently on his banker lap. And let's see what he does around his track of Qatar. in that Williams car, which we both drive.
Yeah, hopefully, the Williams energy comes through from the boot tonight to help Warren and Deathstorm. I think that's about what most I'm gonna say tonight about these two. Don't want to say anything further and jinx it, but
Yeah, got a zip on mouse and just don't focus on the Williams and hope they do well.
yes, as he goes through the penultimate corner, goes a little bit wide, but still keeps the car steady. Goes over the sausage curbs a little bit in the final corner, opens up the DRS, crosses the line with a 122.4. That takes him up to P10. We have,
So JD, well, JD's on the mediums doing a lap.
not sure what that's about, but
Packages not improving. Electric blades.
we have,
Rendering Kane's invalidated.
let's go on board here with JD. Let's see if he's able to improve or get close to some of these soft runners. Don't know if he's that confident to he knows he'll get pole time, or is it just practice, but he sets a 22.8 on those mediums, goes P12.
Yeah, beat some drivers though, surprisingly on those mediums. Electric blades go around the set for last corner, improving 3/10 in that sector 2. He's blinking now when he opens the DRS, he goes cross the line. Let's see what you can do. Don't grab pole, but it's close.
Still needs about 5/10 to go and challenge for pole position, but still a pretty good
Well,
lap, I would say.
talking about pole position, Pablo's just set a purple sector 1,
Ooh,
improving by 2/10.
let's go over to the AlphaTauri driver here of Pablo, AM3 runner-up, I think, in the championship. He's a tenth and a bit up on his second sector time, tenth and a half. Goes through
Just
the
keeping
penalty,
it nice and clean.
and he goes
Oh,
wide.
he validates.
Goes back into the pits. We have a, let's see here, if that's Spanini here coming around the final corner. Not sure what his sector times were, but cuts it close there to an invalidation, but keeps the car on track. Crosses the line with a 121.5, takes him up to P2. We have a Mercedes about to cross the line of Chipman. I think he did a 123.1, puts himself to P13. Joel
So, Pablo's wondering who's jinxed him. It wasn't me.
well, I just said, he was doing a good lap. So, I mean, is that jinxing?
I don't think so. He just got
Well,
unlucky.
well, if that's the case, we shouldn't even commentate anymore.
Bonnie, what do you mean I'm a jinx king? What do
Potty,
you mean?
yeah.
Oh my god.
Get to see Potty
Oh
here
my.
in the chat.
Yeah, it seems like you don't even look at the chat. Poor Potty. Potty's always in the chat. You don't respond to him. The amount of times he was like, "Hey, Red Devil," don't respond.
Bro, I'm working most of the time when, at least when EU2 is happening, and I pay attention to it, but not, like total attention where I look at the chat and everything. So can't blame me for that. As we see Joel here, doing a hot lap, and he invalidates as well. Oh, not
Oh,
that those set of corners, the final sector, very hard to keep the car on track. Especially if you're someone like me who takes all of those three right-handers in 7th gear. That could be a menace to drive around.
yeah.
So
The final one definitely is a menace.
yeah, let's go on board with the Ferrari of Chaggerty. He is blinking, and he
Goes
decides
in.
to go back into the pits.
Well, Firegas invalidated, but does improve in sector 2, so maybe he has a potential to increase his lead.
Mail
Now Carlton's finally setting a lap. I want to, but sit in the tractor with a GPS so I can check chat lol. Bro, AM2's jinxing me so much in Koto. He's got practice in my wets before I crash out in my in that man. Now this. What you saying? I'm a cast now, eh?
Well, as Mil Carton sets a 54-0, that will put him in contention with the top 3 or 4 drivers, I think, looking at the previous the sector times. But he's already blinking, which is surprising to see. Not
Yeah,
sure
so
how
many
much.
fast times great. He
Yeah,
won't be
he's
fast
gonna.
at all.
Yeah, he's gonna lose a ton of time around this corner or straight. He goes P4 with a 121.7, but what could have been though? Like he could have had like a 121.5 or 6 something if he kept it, if he saved his ERS a little bit.
Yeah, maybe, but Destom's coming on a lap now. I'm guessing that's gonna be his final lap. If he don't, actually, I'm just gonna stay quiet about that. So let me read the chat and yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna say he is a tenth and a bit up, so going through the final sector, the penultimate corner, keeps it well and steady going down that corner through the final corner. Coming out of that, opens
Oh,
up the DRS. He is blinking, but he should improve by a few tenths at least. Let's see here. 122.0 takes him up to P7.
yeah, I can't lie. I kind of saw him took the inside curb of that final corner. You know those yellow bits of that curb.
Yeah, the
He
sausage
kind of
curbs on the final
yeah
corner. Yeah, as we
yeah he
see.
kind of rode out a bit.
Yeah, as we see, Electric Blade here on course for his final run. He is 3 tenths up on his time. Going through. Oh, a big slide there. Loses the back end, but is able to keep the car running. Let's see how much time he lost because of that. Will he improve or not? Going through the DRS straight. About to cross the line with a 121.6. That takes him up to P3. I think that slide definitely cost him a tenth or two. Easily.
Yeah. Well, it looks like JD's about to cross the line for his final lap. He's improving by 4 tenths. He's crossed the line up to P7 behind his teammate.
I think E. Warren is the next to do a hot lap here. So going through the second sector with the Williams driver, he
I'm
is
just gonna
already
stay quiet.
blinking
Oh,
though.
blinking.
Oh, I think he's probably preparing for another run. Let's go on board. Let's go to the other Aston Martin of Clive here. Going through
Ain't
the.
that. Bradley's about to finish. Oh, this Clive is gonna be the next one.
Oh,
Sorry
no
about
bets
that. Carry on.
tonight. Sorry, just reading the chat. Sorry, party, I forgot to set it up. You know,
Oh, I'll
it's.
do it.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. Maybe you could do something like penalties or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely penalties because penalties around here is just awful.
Yeah, you could do something like number of penalties, under or over like total number. Let's say something like 45.5, something like that. That'd be a good
Yeah.
number, I think. Thanks for the reminder, party. As we see who's the first to start a lap. Looks like it's the Haas of. Is it male? No. So it's the other one. Where is the other Haas driver? KD. Let's go on board with KD Dog here. Going through the first sector. Takes it nice and easy. Going through the double right-hander. Very easy to lose the car here, but he does do a good job. Hits the apex. Going through the hairpin end of sector 1. He loses the back end a little bit. Doesn't utilize the entire track, but is able to keep the car steady. Goes a little bit wide here as well. Going through the second sector. Let's see how much he can improve by in the second sector split. Goes a little bit wide there as well. Sorry, I don't know the corner numbers, but he is 2 tenths up on his time of 54.2, and he goes wide and invalidates. That's unfortunate for him. As we look at Fire Gap, who's right behind, not sure what his second sector split was. Oh, and he spins as well. Loses the car. Both the Haas of Katie and Fire Gap, both spinning out of the same corner. As we
Well,
see,
I kind of missed that, but prediction is now up for penalties. 42.5 over or under.
that's a good bet. I know where I'll lean, but we'll leave everybody to do their bets as we see Bandute with a 22-0 crossing the line. Fiverr with a 122-1 will go on board with Joel here. He is 4 tenths down on his time.
Really?
Spoonini with a 121.3 as well.
Had a toe as well.
As Chewy sets a 122. Kane goes P8. Next across the line will be Mail. Let's go on board with the Haas driver. He is 3 tenths up, challenging for pole position. Could he grab the pole position here in the final minutes of qualifying? No, it's only P3 with the 121.5. Warren, who hasn't set a lap, is he the next driver to cross the line? 123.4. Well, let's look at Pablo. He goes to P4 with a 121.5. That's an exit lap from him, as I
Good
believe that's the...
qualifying done.
Yeah, that is qualifying, folks.
Hello, Electric Entry. How are you doing today, man? Nice to
Hello,
see you
Andre. Nice to
in
see
the
you.
chat.
Yep.
Yeah.
As we see here at the end of qualifying, Fire Gap takes pole position by only 28 hundredths of a second over Spanini in the Alfa Romeo. Mel Carton came close as well, who was a tenth and a half behind the top two, with the 121.5 in the Haas. Pablo in P4, Electric Blade, championship contender in P5, Joel in P6, JD in P7, Kane in P8, Bandute in P9. Deadstorm rounds out the top 10. Fiverr in P11, Chewy in P12, Katie Dog in P13, Chaggerty in 14, Fraggly 15, Chipman 16, Clive 17, Warren 18, and Nortec the only retiree in P19.
Yeah, that's a close grid today.
Yeah, I think 1 second separated the top 12, 13 drivers. So, yeah, hopefully it's a close fight. No rain as expected in Qatar.
Of course.
Well, yesterday I just started a random lobby, created a session, and went into qualifying. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put dynamic weather because it's not gonna rain in Qatar. And well, behold, we went into qualifying and it was raining. So it
No
it
way.
can happen. So to anybody who's watching, be prepared.
Whoa. It's gonna be horrible. Qatar in the wet.
Yeah, Qatar in the wet is gonna be horrible.
No way.
Chat, the question for you: will Electric Blade be able to seal the championship tonight and win AM2? Let your comments be known. Let your predictions be known here in the chat. Do you think with Orlando not racing tonight, it's a great opportunity for him to seal the championship? Who he is 8 points ahead, so he needs what P2, I think, to seal the championship. I'm not sure, but yeah, with 18 points for P2, yeah, I don't think he'll be Orlando will be able to overtake him. So we'll see what happens as we
Yeah.
are about to get underway here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And away we go. Looks like Spunini got a good start here over Firegab. Everyone else going. Chewy has left the session. If you can please invite him, Rob.
If he's even got me. I hope so.
As Mail
Yes, I do.
overtakes Spanini, who is on the hard tires for P2. Let's look at some of the drivers at the back here. DK Nortec starting at the back, still remains in P19. Chewy falling down the grid. Warren has had a moment here and is at the back of the field. He is lagging a little bit as well. Back up at the top.
Kind of needs to fix that in these two as a... Come on, Troy. I've invited you twice and you're not appearing online now. sure what's happened there. Yeah, it looks like Eoran's a bit laggy there. I did see it in qualifying, but I thought it wasn't that
Yeah.
much.
Do you want me to invite him back?
Well, I do have him back, it's just not online yet.
Just send
No,
him
he
one.
is.
Oh, okay, cool. As we get back into race, as Kay leaves the lobby as well. Hopefully you can
Another
add
one.
him. Yeah. Looks like not a good night for some connections as we see
Oh,
Warren.
I think
Sorry.
you've got to invite him.
Sorry.
I think you got to invite him. I don't have him added. But he don't have me added actually.
Okay. As we see, Male taking the lead at the race. If you can just commentate on.
Yeah, well, right now, it looks like the order's keeping it nice and clean. As 2 drivers at the back have pitted already. Seems like we've got wing damage. At the back, Reorin and Chipman. As Chaggerty is now fighting with his teammates. Fragley's fighting with Clive Tan. Destom's looks like he's wanting to make a move behind Fivers. Kane's in, well, still in out of the session.
Oh, that's.
Destom's been spun around by Bandu.
I don't know if it was an incident or did he spin on his own accord, but Chewie is still ghosted for me, which is weird. Yeah, he is lagging too, so not really sure what's happening here. Rob, do you want to get out of the lobby and get back in? Looks like VC and get back in. Your mic's acting up again.
Already did.
All right, sounds good. As we
It's like Kane needs an invite, but I don't have Kane.
I sent Kate an invite.
But he needs another one. As Fragley's already gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits, and he had a bit of spun there with Bandu at the back. I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like there's no damage between those drivers. As Fragley goes into the pits now and pits.
As Electric Blade, your championship leader, moves ahead of Pablo up into P4. We'll be looking to close that back gap up a little bit to the front so that he maintains the 1 second gap in order to get DRS. Very important to get DRS around here. If not, you will drop very quickly.
Well, you never know because some people got some low or high downforce setup. High downforce setup around here really helps you. As we did see in EU2 action, if you did mess up, you can still watch the replay on the Cost Streams, Cost Formula 1's profile.
As Male Carton gets a 3-second time penalty, yes, it is definitely beneficial to have lower wings, or higher wings rather. It's also a question of, higher wings gives you a little bit better, I think, tire wear. But higher wings also means you deplete your ERS much quicker. So it's, and the only place you can overtake is essentially the straights.
Oh, at the back there, Katie Dog and Kane is kind of had a bit of contact into the wall there on the side. As Kane's got no front wing.
We missed that, but as up at the front here, Fire Gap is able to make a move on Male Carton. Fire Gap on those hard tires, already ahead of Male, who's on the mediums. Let's just look at the tire graphic here for a second, as we weren't able to look at that earlier. As E. Warren gets a 3-second time penalty. Out of the top 5 drivers, 3 drivers in hards. That is Fire Gap, Spinini, and Electric Blade. You have Male and Pablo on those mediums. Joel behind, also on the hards, with JD on the mediums. Rest of the grid looks like they're on the mediums, except Katie Dog, who's on the hards, back in P14.
Yeah, seems like some people already picking up some penalties. Whoever betted over could be likely to win that bet because these drivers are picking up penalties every single lap.
As we see the position changes here, Nortec, starting at the back of the field, is up into the points playing positions of P9. So he's definitely making the moves early on in this race on those medium tires, but he is 3 seconds behind Fiverr, so he will not have the aid of DRS.
Yeah, he's got a whole train behind him. Right now, he's on lead on that train. He's got that whole pack behind him. As Mel Carson makes a move into turn 1, overtaking Fire for P1. He needs this if he wants to get away from the drivers because he's got a 3-second time penalty on his name.
As Chewy makes a move on Deathstorm up into P12. Bandute makes a move on Katie Dog up into P14. Let's go back up at the top here. Fire Gap sticking very closely with Male Carton. Spanini not far behind as well. The top 6 in, you know, starting to pull away. JD is actually losing the top drivers here. He was within that 1 second mark, but he's now 1.5 seconds behind Joel.
Yeah, so it seems like some drivers are kind of struggling already on those tyres. Is Fiver's just having a nice relaxing race at the back there? So see Katie Dog spinning at the back there. The normal spin, I think.
Yeah, not
So nothing
sure.
too bad.
Yeah, not sure exactly what happened, but yeah, he still maintains P7, P15 behind Bandute. Nortec still holding his own on P9. Let's go back up at the top here.
Yeah, it
Will
could
we
be
see
a
three wide
three-way
action?
overtake.
Double overtake here for
Mel.
Spanini and Firegab on Male Carton.
Yeah, Mel Carlton's looking to fight back. He's kind of struggling on those mediums already. So hards would be in that performance range. They would start to work now as they are now ready to, try to pull away from the drivers behind them.
As we have a quick look at the replay of that overtake, double overtake from Firegab and Spanini there. No touching, no nothing. They were a good move from both of those drivers, and they're able to get P1 and 2. Let's go back up into the racing here. At the back of the field, unfortunately, with Kane's disconnect, he's now back in P17. Fragley goes into the pits, I think, or Katie Dog is in the pits.
Katie Dog, yeah. Katie Dog pitted and went into the pits and now has been overtaken by Fragley. So right now they're fighting for P18 as JD TV8 picks up a 3-second penalty. Yeah, look at Spunini and Firegab pulling away from those medium runners. Spunini gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits again, another one.
That is unfortunate for him if he wants to win the race, but he does make a move for the lead. Clean overtake, and he is up into the lead for the first time in this race. Male Carton already blinking, I think. I just saw that light flickering for a second there, if I'm not mistaken.
You off. Right.
Yes.
He's currently blinking. So, I think if I grab on Sabini, I can't say it right. If they work together, they can actually pull away from Mel Carton.
Well, this is interesting though. Top 3 now have penalties. This puts Electric Blade in a prime position to just stay where he is and grab the race win and the championship, folks. So stick around to watch what happens as we move closer to the end of the race. Right now we are on lap 7. Top 3 do have a 3-second time penalty. Electric Blade still nothing to his name so far. Pablo doing well as well, sticking to the back of the top drivers on those medium tires. AM3 driver doing exceptionally well. Will not mention him too much. If not, he will curse me for jinxing him again.
No, it would be pissed at you. You don't want, you don't want to piss off a driver. You don't want to get them mad.
As
You want to pick 3-second time penalties. Katie Dog gets lapped by the top 6 now, and he spins out of the exit.
He is having a torrid time tonight. Not sure if it's because of the setup or something else, but yeah, not having the best of races. As Chipman gets a 3-second time penalty. DK Nortec has been slowly closing the gap on Fiverr, the Alpine driver who's in P8. Now he is only 1.2 seconds behind the Alpine. He'll be looking to make the move and get up into P8, try and fight for that top 5, top 6 positions. Very important to keep it clean on this track. track limits is going to hurt you. That's what the top three will now be looking to do for the rest of the race because they don't want any more penalties against their name.
Yeah, we've got to be really careful around here now if they want to gain some positions without making any moves on the top three. They don't want to pick up a penalty. Looking a
Uh,
bit close around on the track.
As we see, there's a battle going on now for P8. There is a train here as DK Nortec closes in on Fiverr. He gets his reward, which is a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, for pushing so much. It's not something you want, but it is what it is. He is closing, though. He can maybe, complete the overtake and pull in a gap enough to get that spot back. Fiverr's teammate Fragley gets a 3-second time penalty now. So we move back into the leader. Spanini now is now the race leader. Oh, almost loses it, but is able to save the car. Like really lucky there that he did not spin out. Let's have a look at the replay of that. Spanini coming into the double right-hander, almost loses the car, goes off track, but is able to maintain the lead of the race as Male Carton now gets another 3-second time penalty for track limits.
Tragaty gets a 3-second time penalty now for track limits. It looks like we are picking up them now. Could be an awful time to get them now, as some drivers, well, for mediums, 10 to 12 maybe they would pit. Cars 13 to 16, maybe you can push it a bit more. That's when you would normally pit, if I had to guess so.
Yeah, for sure. I think mediums, in a couple of laps, you might see the pit stop window opening up for them. As we see the hard runners, I think it will be somewhere around lap 15, 16, I would say, to get the best out of those mediums.
Yeah, those mediums really make a difference compared to those hard runners, as you would be faster, way faster at the start, and towards the end, I think the tyres would be equal. As we see a spin there at the back, I'm pretty sure that's Katie Dog spinning again.
As DK Nortec has finally completed the move on Fiverr. Unfortunately, we weren't able to look at that in stream, but he's now up into P8.
Yeah, it's a bit of a close one between these drivers, you know, pushing it a bit hard. Some drivers being careful on their tyres, like Electric Blaze, Power Plays, and Joel, they're staying behind the top three, which have a penalty. So right now, they're in the best position, if you would agree so.
Yeah, for sure. And if they're smart about it, they'll be saving their ERS, not trying to make an overtake right now. It does not really matter because you can just stay back, take your save your tires, save your ERS, and then once the medium runners pit, you can then push, use that ERS, and then limit the amount of undercut that they're gonna have on you. As Fiverr is going down extremely slowly in the pit lane. Not sure what that's about. Thankfully, no one is behind him, as Deathstorm is now up into P11.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe. I think Miles Carson would be definitely pitting soon to get undercut, especially when he's blinking as well. So he's struggling with his ERS to keep up with the top two. And Pablo Plays is on those mediums as well. So out of those top six, two of those drivers are on the mediums. So we can definitely get the undercut on those drivers in front.
Yeah, the thing that's going to hurt Mail Carton is the ERS, because once he comes out of the pits, he will not have DRS, maybe, not sure. He can catch some of the back markers, but, he will not have DRS. So if he needs to get that undercut to an optimal range, he needs that to push, which he will not be able to do, as we see Electric Blade going wide there a little bit. Hopefully that's not a warning for him, as Mel Carton still continues on. Still blinking. He is the only driver in the top six who is blinking, though.
Yeah, I'm not revealing any ERS because I've been told off by someone called BK. He's already told me off for saying people's ERS.
Well,
When
we
it's
will
my
not.
job to, exploit them.
Well, we will not be revealing that on the stream as well. So I'm just gonna say what I see, and yeah, I see milk carton is blinking, so I'm just gonna report that.
Yeah, that's all we can see, guys. That he is blinking. That's all we know.
Deathstorm here up into the points playing positions of P10, closing in on the Ferrari of Chaggerty. Will he be able to get into the DRS? That's the question here. Going through the second sector. He has did Deathstorm pit after the first laps as
So,
something happened here with I think it's probably Katie Doug again having a moment unfortunately as Clive picks up a 3-second time penalty. Not a lot of overtaking, but yeah, I believe these drivers are just waiting now at this point. The action is going to be in those last few laps as Katie Dog picks up that 3-second time penalty.
as a Kostenki's now in the chat. How are you, Zenki?
Hola Zenki, how are you? As we see JD having a pretty lonely race after he was dumped out of that DRS from the top 6 drivers. He is 6 seconds behind now. So you see the effect of losing out on the DRS has on you. You lose so much time, especially on that straight. Also, your other drivers are getting the slipstream as well, which kind of pulls the other drivers along. So yeah, it's very difficult to get back once you've been dumped out of the DRS of somebody.
Yeah, it looks like Firecab's kind of dropping out a bit. Oh, can't you say it?
Sorry, what? Fire gap?
Say Beanie. There you go.
Ah,
Oh
okay.
no.
Spanini?
Yeah, there you go. I swear I could say it before, but now I can't.
Well, I think a couple of weeks break from AM2 has really, had an effect on you. You're forgetting. As Mel Carton dives down into the pits, he's gonna go off those medium tires and gonna put on a set of the hard compound tires for the second half of this race.
Yeah, Joel stays out on those mediums as well.
Well,
So I
Joel's on the hards. It's Pablo's on the mediums.
Oh, mediums.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Pablo's staying out. Looks like he's trying to extend those tires. I don't want to jinx anything before comes in here and have a shower at us. Seems like people are really hating on the commentators for doing their job.
As Male Carton, let's see where he comes out. He is down in P10. He has clean air in front of him, but he also has very limited ERS. So will be interesting to see the amount of undercut he's going to have on, let's say, someone like Pablo, who's probably going to pit this lap after after he just saw Male Carton going into the pits.
Yeah, let's see what he does now for his double right-hander, because those tyres with that grip, Defo won't do much from here, so he Defo has to limit it down to maybe 6th or 5th gear if he can't find that grip round that corner, but it stays nice and calm, nice and collected. Let's see what he does now into the going past the pit entry, and he goes in, like you said.
Yeah, expected. The mediums are going to die, so it's only natural that you come in for a set of hards for the rest of the race. But he will be happy with that medium stint, though. He did quite a few number of laps. So it will be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Male Carton, who is just coming out of the final corner. Pablo just I think he's crossing the safety car line in about a second or two. Mel Carton is able to pull that gap on him. Pretty big gap actually. Mel Carton is 2.5 seconds ahead of Pablo. So not sure if it was a slow pit stop or an amazing outlap from Mail, but that gap is pretty big. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Well, I'm pretty sure the top four can now work together and try to pull a bigger gap from those people. Well, Pablo and Mel, which they've got to worry about. Which now they've got the undercut done. They just got to wait until that top four hits. As he wants out of the retiring. I thought he
Yeah,
crashed.
yeah, I
Not a
think he
Williams
had
driver.
a lot of penalties as Deathstorm. Oh, Deathstorm and Mail Carton come together. Deathstorm gets a little bit squirrely, but he is able to maintain his car on track as he is slowing down the Haas driver though. This is really helping the top four and Pablo, who was 2.9 seconds behind, now is only 2.3 seconds behind the Haas driver. That storm really putting in the brakes on the Haas driver. Pablo has caught up. He's now only 2.5 seconds behind as the top drivers are now into the pits. Spunini comes out crucially ahead of that storm. That was important though for his race as E. Warren is on track for some reason. I see the Williams just sitting out on track here. What's going on with that?
Not sure. I think it's just time. It's just ghosted. At least it's ghosted.
I don't see it now, but that was weird there. As we see,
How many penalties did Ewan have in Chipman?
I am not sure, but it was definitely more than 9, I think, for both of them. As we see Joel, who continued on his set of the hards, so he will be making a pit stop, I think now. He's going to go on to the set of the mediums. DK Nortec as well on those medium tires has done 16 laps. That's a phenomenal effort from the Ferrari driver. He should be going into the pits. If not, he would be risking the puncture now at this point. As the top two are now into the pits. Let's see where Joel comes out in relation to Mail, who is 2.1 seconds ahead of Spanini, who's on the medium tires now after that pit stop.
Yeah. Well, if I did my calculations right, with Ewan and Chipman's penalties, I'm pretty sure it's over 42 seconds already. So whoever better than 42 seconds wins.
As
That
we
prediction.
have, yeah, well, we have Kane with the 3 seconds as well. So yeah, as Deathstorm and Nortec come out of the pits, we see Mel Carton is leading the race with Spanini in P2, 2.1 seconds behind. Pablo in P3 with 1.4. He was able to jump Fire Gap though, who is now behind the AlphaTauri driver. Joel in P5, and not sure what happened to Electric Blade. He is 4.8 seconds behind. Sorry we missed that, but Clive had a moment, looks like, coming out of the I think turn number 3 there. He's now down in P14, but it's interesting to see Electric Blade down so far back to the top 5. Not sure what happened to him.
Well, I think we should run another prediction since that prediction was quite easy and quite quick.
Yeah, for sure.
So, do you guys want another prediction in the chat? You know, since that one was a bit too easy and quick.
Well, we could definitely ask if the championship is going to be sealed tonight or not in the prediction.
Yeah.
As
Let's
Clive,
do that one.
as Clive retires from the session, is that going to be a safety car? He is. Well, the car is moving. Not sure how. But I see the car going around in Sector 2. Oh, I think he's retired from the session, unfortunately. That's a big no-no from the Aston Martin, to the Aston Martin driver, I shall say, as Fire Gap has completed the move on Pablo, who is falling back now into the clutches of Joel.
Prediction has been started. So get your bets in. It will only last for 2 minutes.
Yes, that is true, Matty. He did retire on track. Let's see here. Fire gap now closing in on Spanini, but Mel Carton is pulling away though. Spanini's not been able to close in on the uh, Haas driver, even though he's on those fresh set of medium compound tires. Maybe he's now going to start and push in order to
Well,
get back
right
into
now,
DRS.
I think if I look at the standings, I think Electric Blades needs how many points
He needs
to win?
P2, but with everybody having penalties, I'm not sure.
It needs P2 or P1. Well, P2 be fastest lap. So I get your predictions in. If you think Electric Entry will get P2 or P1 to win
Electric
his
Blade.
championship, Electric Blade, not Electric Entry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Andre, it's Andre's
Championships,
brother. Andre's brother.
His brother.
I gotta go. Oh, sorry. I hope you retired on
Um,
track, Tui. As
I hope you retired on track.
on the pits. Sorry. Uh, oopsies. As a Fire Gap is now in the DRS of Spanini. The top three drivers do have penalties against their name. The Mercedes driver is now blinking, as we don't have any other battles in the field, unfortunately, apart from these top 6 drivers. Let's see if Fire Gap is able to get that DRS. The gap between the top two has come down now. It is 1.6 seconds. Fire Gap is now 7/10 behind. He does not have DRS though, but is closing in.
Yeah, it's a bit close between that grid. Blaze ain't doing that well to close in that gap to the front there. Thank you for the follow, Clive, by the way, as well.
Thank you, Clive. Did
I'm
not
pretty
see.
sure. I'm pretty sure that's the Clive from the Aston Martin.
Yeah. As we see, Electric Blade is slowly closing the gap. It was 4.9 seconds or something like that to Pablo. Now it's down to 3.5. Will be interesting to see if he can get into that DRS and somehow sneak in to within 3 seconds of the top 3. If that happens, he will win the championship. So you never know what's going to happen. Freakier things have happened. As Fire Gap now is all over the back of the Alfa Romeo or Kick Sauber driver now of Spanini.
Yeah, it looks like Electric Blaze don't have this in his hands right now. Look at that gap he's behind Pablo Plays. So right now he's kind of dropped a bit far down for him to be up there. As a Fire Gap's got that DRS on. This is. Oh, I give up for saying that name.
Spanini.
Never get it right.
As Fire Gap lost a lot of time coming out of that final corner, so he wasn't able to complete that move. Spanini looks like he is strong in the corner, so he is able to hold off the Mercedes driver as of now, but he is closing in on the Haas driver of Mel Carton. Now the gap is just over a second, 1.1 to be precise. Let's see if he can get that DRS in going into lap 22.
Yeah, there's not much laps left for these drivers, really. And I'm not going to say that name because I know I'm going to say it wrong. But Mel Carton's still blinking and being catched up by that Alfa Romero behind. There we go. I said the car's name, not the name. The
You said,
driver's name.
I think you said Alfa Romero, if I'm not mistaken, but you know, I
How
don't
do
know.
you say it then? Romero.
Yeah, I think he said Romero, but well, now the top 4 are now back in DRS though, as we continue to chat if Rob said Romeo or Romero. Top 4
It looks like I can't even say the driver's name is right or the car's name. What can I? So I say the kit car.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest word. But but you probably might even butcher that. You know, I
Kit
don't know.
Kat. Kit Kat. It reminds me of Kit Kat. Well, it's a UK snack. Kit Kat. Kit Kat.
I mean, it's not just a UK snack, mate. Kit Kat is available everywhere.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just I don't know. I'm just I don't know. I've got no words.
One of my favorite chocolates growing up for sure. As we see, Electric Blade is slowly catching Pablo for that P5 position. He's just 2.5 seconds away, but that's not going to be enough to steal the championship. He needs to close a further 3.5 seconds if he wants to battle it out for the win of the race. Or at least try and get P2 by, getting within 3 seconds. Right now, Joel is in the perfect position to win the race, though. He does not have any time penalties against his name. And if he just sticks behind these drivers, he's going to win the race. So let's see what he can do here. He doesn't have to make any risky moves to win this Grand Prix. But these drivers here, top three, have got to make some moves in order to win the race. As Bonini finally overtakes the Haas driver of Mail Carton to take the lead of this race here in Qatar, or at least on track here. Provisionally right now, Joel is going to win the race if it stays like this. So let's see what Bonini can do.
Also, Joel's result last week, because I noticed he's a new driver for
Yeah.
AM2.
Yeah, I think he did extremely well last week as well. He got a P4 finish on track, maybe, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, he's done quite well. Good start to his season here in Contest of Speed, definitely. So, loved seeing new drivers do well. And if things stay like this, he's going to be a AM2 race winner. So, yeah, lovely to see.
Well, I think the reason why I'm going a bit crazy, my room's boiling hot right now. I've got a fan blowing in my face and it's not helping.
Well, you better turn up the AC there, Mr. Rob
We don't
Star.
have AC. It's always cold. We've got
only
our
heaters.
houses are meant to keep the warming.
Wait, did I see? Oh, it was Fragley going into the pits. I thought it was one of the lead drivers for a second there. Yeah, it's getting pretty hot here in Houston as well. Not gonna lie. As Firegap in that conversation picked up a 3-second time penalty, so he now has 6 seconds. That officially takes him out of even a top 3 finish at this point. I think even Pablo might be able to sneak in as JD gets a 3-second time penalty. Further down the track, I think it's just Fiverr who's the closest enough to JD. Not many, battling here at the back of the field. Not a lot of battles, so we will focus on top unless we see something up here at the front or up behind here. As DK Nortec actually has had a really good race so far. P7 on his comeback. Excellent to see in the Ferrari. I believe he was driving for the Alpine before he left for service to the United States Army, I believe, or the Air Force. I'm not sure, but one of the defense services, I want to say. Who is from Houston? That is me, Red Devil.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near Houston. I'm on the other side of the world.
Rob Starr is from the UK, streaming, helping out comms in the American side. Always grateful. Rob Starr is a goat. We need that typed in the chat, folks. Rob is the goat.
Well, let's carry on with the racing, and let's see how the leaders do.
Yeah, will be interesting to see. Right now, I think the mediums and hard tires will be at a similar pace, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I'm not sure. It depends on who has the better ERS. The top 3 were blinking at one point, so I'm not sure if they can get a win on track at least. because it looks like it's going to be Joel. Electric Blade is not really closing in on Pablo anymore. The gap has remained constant at about 2.3, 2.4 seconds, around 2.5. So not too much action going on there as well. As
Yeah, that's like a choice of session. Looks like electric end. No, electric blades. See, I switched it up last second, so I got it right this time. All right, last second. Looks like he's not really catching up to the drivers in front. So maybe don't think he can win tonight. So whoever said no, you probably might win the prediction.
how many people said no?
Only one person. I put it to 2 minutes. I should have put it to 5 minutes. I thought it was a bit too long. 5 minutes, a bit too late in the lap. So like, yeah, I think that's an easy yes.
Yeah, as we see Joel making a move on Fire Gap to get P3 on track. It is going to be a podium finish for him, and also likely going to be a race win if it stays like this. We take a look at Male Carton, who is blinking. Joel seems like he has a little bit of ERS to play with, so does Fire Gap. Not sure what the Spanini is looking like. We'll uh, go back a little bit here as we see Fiverr and JDTV fighting it out for P8 on track. Fiverr, with no time penalties, is going to pick up that position. His teammate
Yeah.
Fragley is ghosting right through him, so not ideal, not great teamwork. This he is going to be a little bit of a distraction.
Yeah, you know what I've just noticed? If Joel grabs a penalty, he will still get P2.
Really? Oh, Male
Yeah,
has a 6-second penalty as well.
yeah, yeah. If
Oh,
I grab
okay.
a Mel as
Oh.
the Kit Kat car, got 3 seconds.
Well, the only driver not blinking here is Joel, out of the top four, and he's trying to make a move on Male Carton, but unfortunately, nothing doing there. Male Carton shuts the door for now. 2 more laps, I think 3 more laps down the straight for these drivers, so he has 3 more chances to get that win on track. As Fiverr finally moves ahead of JDTV in order to get to P8 on track as Fragley retires from the session in the pit lane.
Yeah, this time we've actually not listened to you, not retired on the track. Eh?
Yeah, that's
Like you said.
yeah, you should not retire on track, people. We don't want any unnecessary safety cars, and if anybody reports you, you will get a severe penalty. So that's a big no-no, folks.
It looks like Mel Carson's kind of struggling, Same as Joel, we're kind of spreading that gap a bit, keeping that distance from each other. Really, Joel's still in the best position, no matter the gap right now. I think the gap between Joel and the Kit Kat car is 2 seconds.
Yeah, as we see, Joel is also blinking now, so all top four drivers, it will depend on pure race pace and straight line speed as to who is going to win this Grand Prix here in Qatar. 2 more laps to go. Can Joel get it home to win the race, or will Spanini be able to open up the gap to get that win? Pablo, will he be able to make a position? Electric Blade is closing in on that P5. Will he be able to get Fire Gap on track and jump up 2 positions if he makes an overtake on Pablo? So that's an interesting question. As we see a Ferrari of, whoa, was that
DK.
Nortec?
Yeah, DK Nortec.
Is hopefully he is still in.
I got fuel.
Oh, he is out of fuel, ladies and gentlemen. Ah,
That's a
that
first
is
question.
unfortunate. No safety
On this,
car.
no, it wouldn't be anyway, because it's 2 laps left.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. As Spunini has opened up the gap 1 second and over the Haas driver now. As Nortec gets a 10-second penalty. He's just
Second.
trying to get back into the pits, I believe. Now, will Joel make a move on Mill to get P3 on track here sorry, P2, and he completes the move. Pretty easy move there for the Aston Martin driver. Now he will try and hunt down the Kit Kat driver of Spanini for the race win on track.
Yeah, looks like that Kit Kat car's doing alright, but he won't be able to pull out a gap. Right now, that Kit Kat car's only hoping if Joel can get that penalty or not for him to win. But right now, that Kit Kat car cannot pull away from Joel.
Let's see here. Final lap of the race. Let me actually hide the UI so we can take a look.
Yeah, as DK did not go into the pits, he stayed out on the track. So now he's doing a whole lap without any fuel. So he's gonna have a fun time there.
As we see here, Spanini is going to win, I think. Yeah, for sure. As the cap is only 7/10, could he win it on track here, Joel, or will Spanini be able to hold on to P2 at least, going through the final straight? Joel is 6/10 behind, but has the DRS. But Spanini gets the win on track, but Joel.
Mel's out of fuel.
Oh no! That brings back Electric Blade in play, and now he's up in a P5. Mel Carton finishes on P6. Oh, and look at that. Electric Blade lost P4 by 1,000th of a second. Oh my god, that is so close for the Red Bull driver. But it is the Aston Martin of Joel who picks up the victory here today as Fiverr crosses for P7. JD throws the car into the wall in P8. That Storm gets a points playing position in P9. Bandit goes in P10. Chaggerty P11. We have Kane about to cross the line.
Well, not really. He's still taking a bit with no fuel.
Oh, okay.
Let's commentate his race. Now he goes down to the final corner, going about 100 miles per hour, maybe less, onto the final corner. Can he go flat out? Looks like he can. Gets it nice and tight onto the final straight now. Pushing the car hard as he can with no fuel, dragging it on this straight. Defo burning his ERS to get that tiny bit of extra speed. He's about to cross the line and he gets P13.
Well, at least he wasn't, at the bottom of the field, so that's a positive.
It's a bit, and he's got a driver of the day for doing that with two laps of fuel.
Well, technically he did move from P19, I believe, to P13. It could have been so much more though. But we celebrate here the victory of Joel, P1 in the Aston Martin. First race win here in Contest of Speed for him. Second race, I believe, as well. So a fantastic job here. New winner for AM2. Spanini in P2. And I believe it's Pablo who finished in P3. So an excellent race from the AlphaTauri driver and AM3 runner-up in the championship as well. So great drive from him.
Well, congrats to those drivers. You know, it's definitely a difficult race to do. Like at the first few laps, my first stint, everybody's all together until that that second stint. Everybody was a bit separate, which kind of messed up the electrics at the race.
Yeah, for sure. If you can invite the top three into the VC, I will go through the final finishing order. As Joel wins the race in the Aston Martin, grabs 25 points. Spanini in P2 did take the victory on track, but lost out for penalties. Pablo, fantastic drive from him in P3 with Fire Gap in P4. Electric Blade, your championship contender, can only get P5 with Mail Carton out of fuel P6. Fiverr in P7. JD P8, Deathstorm in P9, Bandit getting the final points playing position in P10, Jaggerty in 11, Kane in 12, Nortec in 13th, KD Dog in 14, Fraggly 15th with the DNF, 2E 16, Clive 17, Eve Warren 18, I believe. So,
Tag the drivers if they want interviews. Let's see if they will be joining us today.
yeah.
Definitely was an interesting race.
For sure. As let me go to the interviews tab, and I believe this VC is open, so they can just
Yeah.
join. We have our P2 finisher here, Spanini. Let's see if Joel and Pablo can make it. I don't think Pablo has a mic, so
Mike. Rest
uh,
in peace, Mike.
as we wait for our race winner,
Um,
we will go
Oh,
and start the interviews, and we will go to our P2 finisher, who technically got P1 on track. Spanini, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Was a good race. Just unlucky with the 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but pretty good drive from you. How did the car feel out there tonight? I know this is a track that has a lot of tire wear, a lot of fuel consumption. Did you overfuel? Because we did see a couple of people, I think Mail Carton, unfortunately, underfueled a little bit, lost out right at the end there. Another driver as well, underfueled by about a lap or two. So, yeah, what was it like?
Yeah, I completely forgot to check how much fuel, like in practice, how much fuel it's taking. So I just put like 2.5. Didn't want to risk it. Um, I don't know if that was close or not in the end. I didn't check.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet, 2.5, especially
Right.
with you being so close in the DRS. I think that was a safe bet. Yeah, talk us through the battle there. I believe in the first stint there were about six drivers within a second, and then Mail, I think he pit from those mediums onto the hards. It looked like you weren't closing in initially, but then you slowly started to catch back up. So what was the thinking behind that? Because I thought on the fresh mediums you would close in instantly, but were you just managing those tires a little bit, or yeah, what was it lack of temperature in the tires, or were you just managing like I said?
Yeah, I mean, I guess from the start, I didn't have a great start, and Mail Carton on those mediums easily got by me, and I didn't fight him too much because I didn't want to lose whatever DRS train is going to be, that lead DRS train. And then after that, I kind of just sat there. Yeah, I guess you could say I was managing, but really, I was just trying to make sure that I maintain battery because I know battery is horrible here. Um, and so I was just trying to maintain battery and try to save it for my in lap and out lap when I pit. And then yeah, once I got on the mediums, I don't know, I was just a little bit out of rhythm. I was like missing apexes and got a couple more warnings. Like I was one warning away from getting 6 seconds, so it was just not clean for me. And then after I kind of got back into the rhythm, I was slowly able to catch back. Same with Fire Gap. Fire Gap was like I think more than a second behind me, and then he caught up to me too. And I was like, "What am I doing? I gotta focus up." But yeah, I was able to catch Mail. And I think if he ran out of fuel, he was probably also trying to manage that fuel situation.
Hmm.
So because I don't know what kind of downforce people were running, but I was running a bit higher downforce,
Hmm.
but Mail wasn't able to really overtake me on the straight. So I was wondering maybe he was just lifting out. Probably saw that he had more penalties, so there's no point in fighting. But
Hmm.
yeah, uh, good driving from Joel as well. I think he started a couple places back and didn't get any penalties and won. So that's a good drive from him.
Yeah, definitely. Good drive from you too. Unfortunate. I mean, we all know this is a uh, track that is notorious for the track limits, but it is what it is. You still got a victory on track. That is something to be happy about after uh, I think it's a grueling track to drive as well. I think 29 laps is a lot, especially if you're on a wheel or something. So yeah,
Right.
pretty good
Yeah.
drive from you. Congratulations on that P2. Rob, do you have any questions for Spanini here? Who, by the way,
yeah.
cannot pronounce your name.
No, no,
So
no, no. Sure, 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 sure,
so
sure.
he
We
calls
don't speak
you
about that.
he calls you the driver who drives in a Kit Kat car. So just saying.
I'm sorry about that. I was struggling for my past races to try and pronounce your name, and I gave up. And then I decided to go with a Kit Kat car because we kick, and then sounds like a car, kit car, and Kit Kat car.
I
If you
like it.
get
I
it.
like it.
Yeah, well, we saw you had a bit of a spin there at the hairpin. What happened there? Did you just lose a
Oh, like
car?
right before the
Or
hairpin.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that was just. I'm so used to. I was just trying to test the throttle. Honestly, I think I turned in a little too aggressively. Lost the rear for a second. Luckily, I was able to catch it. Otherwise, I think I was DNFing right there. Um, yeah, I was able to catch it and then didn't lose like a ton of time. So yeah, that was definitely a scary moment. And I think that was one of the moments that kind of knocked me off my rhythm for a bit.
Yeah,
But
we
Yeah,
we
yeah,
well,
caught that
luckily,
as well on the stream, and it's on replay. So yeah, it was very
yeah,
close. I thought you were gonna hit the wall there, but a good save.
yeah. Thank you.
yeah. Also, another question: when you on the last stint, on the last few laps, when you saw Joel catching up in the order, what did you think?
I mean, I saw him. I saw him in fourth place, and I knew he was in my delta. So, he also pitted a lap later. Um, so I knew he had the tires to overtake. So I kind of like maybe like 5 laps out, I already knew I was gonna get P2, unless something weird happened and I was able to pull a gap. But I was like, I'm just gonna keep it consistent because I was only one warning away still. So I didn't want to overdrive too much, and Mail wasn't really catching me. So yeah, I kind of went into cruise control in those last couple laps to make sure I just finished strong.
Well, congrats on that podium, man.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks guys for broadcasting as well.
Yeah, thank you, and you're welcome. Congratulations on the podium. We'll now go over to Joel. Joel, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How about you guys?
Oh, good, thank you. Second race for you, I believe, here in Contest of Speed, in
Yeah,
AM2. Winner, how does that feel?
feels pretty good. Um, Glad I didn't get any track limits.
Yeah, that was smart driving from you for sure. Kept it clean on track. For you, I gotta ask, did you think you were gonna get that victory on track at the end there?
That was a plan. I mean, I was just sitting behind the whole train the whole race while they're using their battery. I was at 100% for like the entirety of the race, and then let's see, in the top four, I was just sitting behind because I knew I had it on pens, but I kind of got bored and decided to go for the on-track victory, but couldn't pull it out.
Yeah, but it's still a victory because you kept it clean, and yeah, that's
Yep.
well deserved for sure. Yeah, first stint, you didn't pit along with guys like Spanini and who was the other guy on Hards? I believe it
Uh,
was Electric Blade or somebody.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, unfortunately, he had a game glitch. That's why he was out of the battle, but. Yeah, you went in, for probably fresher set of mediums at the end, so that's why you extended the stint. Uh, was that the plan to have fresher mediums at the last few laps, or
Um,
was it because you had a DRS, so you thought, okay, I'll go one more lap and pit then?
I mean, my tires were probably like the best out of everyone. Um, so I was planning on going more than just that one lap, but I think we just needed to pit there, so we did.
Yeah, I think probably because you just sitting back, you didn't try to make a move or anything. You probably saved those tires a little bit more than the guys at the front for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh, anyway, congratulations. Great drive from you. Rob, any further questions for our race winner?
Well, you had an amazing pace in that race, so congrats on that P1, of course.
Thank you.
And your pack. Well, should I say warning wise? How many did you have left? Because
I had two, and
close to.
so for half the race at the end, I was just kind of keeping it safe.
Yeah, it would have been close if you got that warning. You would have came
Yeah, I probably
P2 if
would
I
have
was
come
right.
second.
Yeah, so it was a close race towards the end. But yeah, you got it back at the end, so congrats.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Spanini and Joel. Congratulations on P1 and P2. Congratulations to Pablo as well. He got a podium as well, P3. Unfortunately, he won't be able to join us tonight for the interview, but I think if he were here, he would have said he had a good race, overall summary. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it that light and short for him. So yeah. Final thoughts, Rob. Wha How do you think the race went?
Went amazing, you know, mixed grid, you know, some people tried against each other on different stints. It went well, but if you do want to watch another action, you can always go to EU1, which is tomorrow.
Yeah, and we have AM1 tomorrow as well. EU1 first, obviously, with I think it's at what 4 p.m. UK time. Sorry,
No,
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
UK,
UK time.
4 p.m.
Yeah,
Eastern.
I did the same.
Yeah,
I got it wrong as well.
yeah. Sorry about that. And then you got AM1, 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UK time. Is that correct, Rob?
2 a.m.
2 a.m. Okay, 2 a.m. Very late, but Rob is in the UK and he's good for staying up and helping us out in comms tonight. So thank you, Rob. Um, and yeah, next week, championship decider, folks. Would it be? Is it going to be Orlando who's going to win, or is it going to be a second championship, I believe, for Electric Blade? That is going to be interesting. So if you are new here and you don't follow us, please do follow us here in the Twitch. And also use our Discord links to get over and join the community. With that being said, tune in same time next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, for the finale of the AM2 Championship going down to the wire. So we are here. We are going to be in Brazil, by the way. So going to be an interesting race. Till then, thank you from Rob and myself, and see you all next week. Ciao.